it's almost funny to see the complete silence of the UN and the nations that condemn Israel when the Alawites and Christians get massacred, literally massacred in Syria. It's not that there was a war, in the context of the war, they decided to go massacre Alawites. Not that that would be okay. But literally just going house to house, killing entire families brutally. What happened in the Congo? What happened in Sudan? What's happening in the Congo and Sudan? Not a word. But when Israel goes in to destroy Hamas, the Amalekites are barking. It's not, and you have to know that the Amalekites are not just Hamas, it's all the people in the world that support them. They're also Amalekites. And we're gonna see the redemption of Hashem. We're going to see the same way we see the redemption of Hashem against the Hamas Amalekites and the Gaza Amalekites. There's going to be a price to pay to the European Amalekites.
They didn't blame Israel for Congo. They didn't blame Israel for Alawites.
I think they did, by the way. I think Candace Owen, she condemned. Somehow she connected Israel with the Alawites. We have to pray for her full recovery. She obviously has a mental illness. We have to feel bad for her. But what are you going to do? All right, thank God, we're very blessed by Hashem to have Donald Trump as a president, and the first time in the history of the state of Israel that the U.S. is fully behind Israel, eradicating its enemies once and for all. I think we're in Yemot HaMashiach. I think this is setting the stage for Yemot HaMashiach. I have no other way of explaining it. Okay, so we are studying Hilchot De'ot, Perek Vav, Halacha Bet. You all have the material, so I'm going to start reading. And you remember that the idea here is, and what Rambam is teaching us, is the importance of the development of a good personality. I would put it that way. How to develop a good personality. And part of developing a good personality is being aware of your weaknesses, your faults, where you have a particular tendencies to go to one extreme. And you remember what we said, Rambam suggests that you go to the other extreme and you fix yourself. And this is a misvat aseh de'oraita. Rambam considers this, fixing one's personality, as a misvat aseh. And it's almost like you want to get to Olam Haba, but you want to get to Olam Haba healthy. Right? Imagine you're going on vacation and you get to the vacation and you're sick. Okay, whatever. It's like you're in the room, in the hotel room. It's not the same, obviously. You can't enjoy all the fun activities that the resort has to offer you, or wherever you are has to offer you. You're sick. So that's the mashal. Then it tells you go to Olam Haba, but you got these issues that you have to deal with now in Olam Haba. So we want to go to Olam Haba healthy, and part of going to Olam Haba healthy is Hilchot De'ot. That's the idea of Hilchot De'ot. We prepare our souls, we prepare our very essence as individuals so that we are ready to stand in front of our Creator. And that's what the Pasuk says, "Uvotibak," you should cleave unto God, not physically, of course, but to be close to God, you have to be worthy of being close to God. So that's what we've been studying. Now, Rambam gives a very good advice, and now we're going to read this advice, and this advice is actually Misvat Aseh. It's something that if a person does it, not everybody can do it, but sometimes it comes around. There's different ways to do this mitzvah. If you can do it, you did a Misvat Aseh, and it helps you in your personality. So here it is. That's what we're going to be studying now. And then we're going to be studying about the mitzvah Ve'acha Le'elecha Kamocha. We'll also study that tonight. But first, this one mitzvah. Mitzvat Aseh. Lehiddavek b'chachamim. Everybody have the plate? Well, it has a pizza. It looks good. I have to say, pizza looks good. I want a few slices for later. Just save me something on the side. Okay. Oh, no, okay. No. Don't. I was saying this.
Looks like you're taking a Bible.
So mitzvat aseh, to come close to the hachamim, right? B'talmidehem and their students. Because when you're close to the hacham and you're close to the students, you end up getting affected in your personality by the hacham, right?
It doesn't have Talmidehem in this version.
Interesting. You don't have Talmidehem?
No.
Okay. Let's see. Misvat aseh lidaber hachamim. You're right. Okay. You're right. All right, so one version says B'talmidehem, the other version says B'chachamim, as you wish. But nevertheless, the idea is Kedei lilmod mima'asehem, because when you're exposed to people who act in a good way, who act with integrity, who act in a holy manner, it's naturally going to affect you as an individual. So, ka'inyan shene'emar ubot tidbak, as the pasuk says, ubot tidbak. Let me explain to you the pasuk ubot tidbak. This is the pasuk actually from the book of Devarim, and what the pasuk says is as follows. It's a book in the book of Devarim. It's Moses repeating the Torah to the Jewish people, and he says, "Et Adonai Elohecha tira." Number one, have fear of God. Okay. Oto ta'abod, and you should also worship God. Right? We spoke about Avodah Zarah. Avodah Zarah means you're not allowed to worship anybody else but God. So subo, oto ta'abod. Right? So again, Et Adonai Elohecha tira, oto ta'abod, and finally it says uvo tidbak, and you should come close, debek, come close to God. Uvishmo tishaveh, and when you make oaths only in the name of God. So uvo tidbak. So the Chachamim say, well, what does it mean? Uvo tidbak, right? How do you come close to God? Well, you can't come close to God. God is spiritual, right? And beyond our comprehension, beyond anything, beyond our existence. What?
Doing His will. How do you come close to God? Doing His will. That's how you-
Right. Right. So it's first of all doing His will, right? And the Chachamim say, "Uvot tidbak." You know how you come close to God? This is the tradition we have from Moshe Rabbeinu, that the Chachamim received this tradition. How do you come close to God physically? There is a way. You should come. Here you have Talmidim. Okay, come close to the Chachamim who do the will of God and understand things. Talmidim and their students. When I was young, I used to when I was in elementary school, I always used to say berachot, of course, and like a lot of the people that I was friends with, they all used to say berachot. It was like it like wore off on them. So they always saw me saying berachot, and then they started saying berachot. Just like a small little example, and it's true. We're so affected by the people around us. Bar Minan, you were surrounded by a person who's lacks fidelity, then you would also end up lacking fidelity. So very important to be surrounded with good people, with wise men who act intelligently, or if you can't be close to a Chacham, okay, then with the students of the Chacham, the people who care about wisdom. That's how you come close to God. Right? Understood? For example, you see the Chacham has a beautiful daughter, marry her. It's an opportunity, because you're going to come close to the Chacham, and in this way you're going to make the mitzvah taseh of coming close to God. Or you have a beautiful daughter, to give your daughter to a Tamil Chacham or to a ben of Tamil Chacham, so you have a family relationship with the Chacham. It's going to affect you in a very profound way, and you'll end up benefiting tremendously from such a relationship, right? Nothing brings people closer together than family. When you're in the same family and you love each other, that automatically creates a certain closeness.
This is what you can put in your plug, Rabbi.
Oh, what do you mean, plug?
For the single people.
Okay. If you have a party, you're having a banquet, invite the Chachamim to the banquet. Get close to them. Befriend them. Right? Ve'la'asot perak matiyah letamid chacham. You know what perak matiyah means? Perak matiyah means, who said that? Yeah, business, correct. Do business. Do business with the Chacham. You have an opportunity to buy, I don't know, somebody's like, you need gloves, the Chacham is selling them and the regular person is selling them. See if you can buy it for the Chacham. Give him the business. Again, you create this relationship, and by having a relationship with the Tamil Chacham, you have a relationship with God. People always go to the Chacham to get I'm sorry? Depends which country. You don't want tariffs. Right. Tariff-free products from the Chacham. But you understand the idea. People always go to the Chacham and they want to get a blessing. No problem. I have no problem with that. Chinese rabbi, okay. My cousin, Rabbi David Bitoni, used to be to China and Shanghai. Then he left a few years ago. Now he's in Great Neck. But yeah, I think he actually is a businessman. I believe. I'm not sure. Be that as it may. if you have the opportunity to do business with Tamir Chacham, do it. Chacham Adlub Abadi, I think he was a businessman. When he came here to the community, he was first an educator, but then he went into business, and I understand that he became very wealthy. So whoever did business with him, tremendous mitzvah. So I was about to say that people always go to Chacham, they want to get a beracha from the Chacham. Okay, nothing wrong with that. That's very good. But the real way to have like that special divine providence flow over from the Chacham to you, and that's what the beracha means. The beracha is you want that divine providence to go upon you. But if you have a strong relationship with the Tamir Chacham, it's automatically going to inure to your benefit, right? So that special hashgacha that the Chacham has will come onto the person who is close to the Chacham. You understand the idea?
But you shouldn't sell the brachot.
You should, selling the berachot. If you're a person, if somebody is selling you a beracha,
Right.
you know not to stay away from it. That's the truth. Okay. When I was young, I was very, I wasn't nice. I was mean. So I was once in the kotel, and somebody came to me. He says, they wanted some money or whatever. He says, I'll sell you a beracha. So I told him, listen, first of all, that's very compelling. I said, but I have something even better for you. I said, why take my money? Why don't you give yourself a beracha and give yourself a beracha that you should make money? You know, it's a very compelling argument. So you don't know what to say. I was mean. It was a mean thing. I wouldn't do that today. I was angry as a young child. But my basic point is, if you tell me that the beracha is worth your money, just give yourself the beracha and I'll keep my money. You'll make your money. We'll make double like that. You have my $100 will stay with me, and then the $100 you get from the beracha will go to you. Anyway, that wasn't a nice way to act. I admit it. But you get the idea. I think you see that if somebody is doing that, not a good thing. All right. Let's continue. When you have an opportunity to create that connection, create the connection. Shene'emar ulobka bo, as the pasuk says, and this is another pasuk. There's another pasuk also in the book of Devarim in the same chapter. Two pasukim further, it says, "Le'ahavai Adonai Elohechem." You should love God. La'alecha bechol derechad. You should go in the pathways of God. And you should cleave unto God. Again, how do you cleave unto God? He's spiritual. He's in a different realm of existence. You cleave unto God by being close to the followers of God. Those who are close to God. When you're close to them, then you become close to God. You understand? So that's the idea.
So the Hasidic idea of dibuk.
What is it? Tell me what the Hasidic idea of dibuk is. I don't know what it is.
I know it goes contrary to what he's Rambam saying. Rambam saying with other Chachamim, with other human beings,
Right.
is and dibuk is more directing it towards Shem. I think.
Well, what is? I don't even know what it is.
I don't have a good handle on it. Get close to God, I guess. Meditate or.
Oh, wait, I'm not sure what it is. Okay, I'm not familiar with
How do you
that.
draw the line, Rabbi, between this and idolatry?
Oh, good. Oh, yeah. So, okay. So there's two separate things. Okay. First of all, I'll tell you where I draw the line.
Isn't that
I'm sorry?
isn't that the book like when the soul falls into like a body?
Yeah, I think that's what it was. I remember there was a big thing.
It's an
In,
ableistic thing that you do.
Yeah.
I think in 1998 there was a big
Yeah,
thing.
it
where-
was a scam.
It's like there's a shade.
Of course, it was a scam. I was laughing. I remember people were giving me. There was no WhatsApp back then. People were letting me listen to the audio, and I'm like, I was saying, and people were like going crazy. Oh my gosh! It's like Kiryat Yam Suf. I was like, it's just some crazy person like saying nonsense, but whatever.
The body got possessed. Like,
Right.
But anyway, I think there was.
But isn't that what a book is? Not
Yeah, I don't think so. I think yeah. Gadal. Oh yeah, what's a fine line? I want to explain what fine
Explain what it is.
Yeah.
Vekas.
Vekas to what?
Vekas is not this dibuk. It's different. Vekas is dibekut. You cleave unto Hashem.
Right, but that's how you cleave. That's how you cleave unto Hashem.
What happens in Vegas stays in Vegas.
Right. There's nothing wrong with Vekas. I mean, I don't know what they mean by it, but it's like I'm okay with Vekas. But let me just address Albert's question. Look, you're not going to use the Chacham as an excuse to escape personal responsibility. That's the fine line. Meaning, people, nobody's perfect. And that's okay. And sometimes we have issues in our lives which may be a reflection of our imperfections. Okay, normal. That's the toll of life. That's the challenge of life. We're always being challenged by God, and God wants to wake us up. So what do you do with that? So one approach, which is the approach of the Torah, is take personal responsibility. You have to look at yourself and figure out, what am I doing? What can I do? What am I not doing? How can I improve myself? What is God trying to tell me? And it's a personal dialogue. It's a personal dialogue with you and God. You have to have that dialogue. The problem becomes when people, instead of having the dialogue, they go to the rabbi, give me a blessing. Or they gives them what is that? The red thread. Okay. I'm not against red strings. I'm just, but really, like that's what it's about. That's going to change your life. God was looking at you and said, you know what, this person, he's not saying Kiriyat Shema with Kavanah. He should be saying Kiriyat Shema with Kavanah. But he put on the red string and it's okay. I like that color. No. Just no. It's silly, right? I mean, isn't it silly? So the point is, the fine line is, yes, you should establish a relationship with the rabbi, but that's not instead of personal responsibility. So you can't say, I'm best friends with the chief rabbi of Israel and cheated on my wife, cheated on my business partner, cheated, I don't know, whatever else, and it's all going to be good because I'm best friends with the chief rabbi. No, it's actually not going to be good. It's going to be, if anything, it might be very bad because you might be held to a higher standard. Well, you're friends with the chief rabbi and you see proper behavior, then why are you acting, doing ABC, right? So you understand that. Now, the idea of idolatry is that there's an exclusive club of people that they will tell us the truth, and we have to submit to that truth. And one of the differences between the Sephardic approach, the Sephardic Chachamim, and others is that in the Sephardic world, we always felt comfortable coming to the rabbi. Shulchan Aruch says this. You see what it says? Shulchan Aruch says this. How can you say something else? Perfectly okay. Meaning in the Sephardic tradition, you come to the rabbi, you ask a question, you said it's haram, Shulchan Aruch says it's mutar. Explain that to me, please. Respectfully, of course, you have to be very respectful. We're respectful to everybody. Of course, we're respectful to rabbis. Whereas in other traditions, there was the idea, no, once the rabbi said something, that's it. But it says simply, it says differently. The Gemara says differently. Harambam says differently. You have no right to ask questions. You must be a loyal subject, right? That's idolatry, and that's a little different than what we're saying here.
And people have even things that are not really halacha. They call it das Torah.
Right, exactly.
If I said it, that's the Torah's opinion.
Yeah, das Torah.
Now, should I open up a restaurant? Should we do this? The rabbi said, why is it his?
Okay. In my own personal opinion, I say this with great humility and tremendous reverence for all our Chachamim. But if the Chacham says that he's a prophet, that's one thing. Meaning, people used to go to Shemuel Hanavi, for example, to your point. That's okay. He was a prophet. Can God help me? I have an issue. I'm selling apples, and nobody's buying my apples, and I don't know what I'm doing wrong. Maybe I shouldn't be in the apple selling business. Okay, they go to Shemuel Hanavi. He's actually a Navi. So if he's actually a Navi and he's telling, okay, let's see what God tells me, and that's okay. And then God says, you know what, you shouldn't be selling apples. It's true. That's not what you should be doing. You should be a scribe. You should be writing Sifrei Torah. It's talent, and I want you to wake up to the talent that you have. So write Sifrei Torah. That's nevuah. So tell us what it is. Are you a Navi? I'm okay with that. If you really are a Navi, then by all means say, I am a Navi. God speaks to me, and please come to me, and then we'll test it. Because if a Navi says something and it's wrong, then he's an Navi Sheker, and that's a capital offense in Judaism. Right? You see what I'm saying? So just be honest. Don't dance around. I'm a big rabbi. You have nevuah? Okay, I'm happy. I want nevi'im. Please, right? Okay. So that's that. We're done with that topic.
Like dollars that they give out.
What?
The dollars that they give from Chabad or whatever.
No, but that's good. Nothing wrong with that. Why? Seriously, why is that?
What is the purpose of it? They give out $1 from the
Right,
Rebbe.
but the thing is, whatever it is,
They hang it on their wall, the
okay,
barbershop.
it's a cultural thing.
What is it for? It's for
I don't know. I've never asked them. I don't know. Meaning, I don't know what it means. But listen, when the Rebbe gave out dollars, I don't think he meant anything. From what I've seen in the videos, I've seen videos of him giving dollars to people. I didn't see anything untoward. He never says, God is now going to protect you because of this dollar. I never saw anything like that. I have to be done with Olech Havzechut. I think he was a great man, and I never heard him.
But the people that are receiving
Right? No,
it,
I know. You're right.
giving it is
Right. So the
$100.
people you're saying the people receiving it, they turn it like into some sort of like, okay, that could be.
If I keep this in the wall of my business, I'm gonna make money.
All right, it's more of a cultural thing. I'm okay with
In
that.
the store, they get $1, they can't put it right.
All right. Let's continue. Halakha Gimel. This is one of the fundamental mitzvot of the Torah. There was a famous story that Hillel and Shammai, they were the two great Hachamim in the days of the Second Temple, and they had different approaches. Shammai was more like strict and less patient with people who aren't so intelligent. And Hillel apparently was far more patient, he was far more understanding, and also he was far more popular among the people. So the story goes that once a person comes to Shammai, and he tells him, I want you to teach me the entire Torah. I think it was a proselyte or a person who wanted to convert. I want you to teach me the entire Torah while I'm standing on one leg. Meaning it's a way to say, I want to know the whole thing, but 30 seconds. Give me the Cliff Notes version of the Torah, right? So Shammai was a little annoyed at the question. It is kind of arguably not an intelligent question. So he had a mata binyan, he had like a plumb line. Maybe he was in the construction business, real estate construction. He took the plumb line and he pushed the guy out of his office, and that was that. Okay. Then he went to Hillel, and he asked him the same question: teach me the entire Torah while I'm standing on one leg. And Hillel said, Ma desanu alach, whatever you hate, don't do it to your friend. Meaning, ve'ahavta le'reacha kamocha. Ve'ahavta le'reacha kamocha means don't do to someone else what you would not want somebody else to do to you. Right? That's it's interesting. The Christian version is do unto others as you would have others do unto you. That's a narcissistic iteration of the mitzvah. And I say it's narcissistic because I love vanilla ice cream. I don't know, maybe you like some other French, I don't know, some other French flavor. I don't know. And good for you, right? So like, what do you mean? Do unto others as you would have others do. I like steak. I love a good steak. I like nothing better than a good steak. Maybe other people say, no, I don't like it. It's unethical. I don't want to eat meat. Okay. String beans. Okay, yeah, string beans. There you go. So I can't say do unto others as I would have others do unto me, right? That kind of doesn't respect the individuality of the person. That's what the Hachamim were very intelligent. They say, don't do unto others what you would not want others not to do, right? That makes sense. I don't want people cheating me in business. I'm going to cheat him in business. I don't want people throwing garbage in front of my house. I'm not going to throw garbage in front of his house. I don't want people cutting me off in a rude way. I won't cut off people in a rude way, right?
Don't give somebody a veggie burger.
Don't give somebody a veggie burger, okay? Unless he orders it. But anyway, you understand the idea of the Ahavta le'reacha kamocha in the rabbinic mind is a very intelligent idea. Respect the boundaries of other people. So that's what we're going to be studying about now. Okay, Ahavta le'reacha kamocha. It's a mitzvah in the Torah. It's a beautiful mitzvah. And Rabbi Akiva says it's a kelal gadol b'Torah. It's almost like all the mitzvot in the Torah derive from the idea of the ahavta le'reacha.
Is it an aseh or a look aseh?
Mitzvat aseh. It's a mitzvat aseh.
So
we're going to see it now.
Look,
I know. But that's the summary of the mitzvah. Let's read it. Let's read it, and then we'll get into that idea. But the mitzvah has many different dimensions, right? Many different dimensions to the mitzvah. Okay. Mitzvah kol adam le'ehov et kol echad ve'echad mi'Yisrael k'gufo. There is a mitzvah to love every single Jew. Horrible what happened October 7th, but one of the things that October 7th kind of brought about is, and I speak to many Jews in different places in the world, there's a certain love among Jews for the Jewish people. We realize that we're a special nation, and I don't say this with any glee, but a lot of the Goyim, they're mentally ill. I mean, and they always have been, apparently. We're a nation that seeks peace. We're a nation that doesn't have the violent or the lust for violence or the lust for blood. And they're constantly attacking us, and we finally realize that, we're different than them, and even when I go to restaurants, I don't know if anybody here experienced it, but post October 7th, when I go to a Jewish restaurant, I feel a certain sense of camaraderie that I did not used to feel in the past. That's nice. That's good to have that feeling. I was a few Sunday nights ago, I was in a nice restaurant in the city, and people were just talking to us, we're talking to them, different tables across. It was like, I never used to see that pre-October 7th. I never used to experience that type of thing. So they're definitely good vibes. All right, so it is a mitzvah to love every single Jew as you love yourself. Note, it doesn't say to do unto every Jew what you would want the Jew to do. It says you have to love him. That's a state of mind. So the main point of this mitzvah is the state of mind to feel love towards the Jewish people, right? That's so important. It's a beautiful idea. Therefore, we should speak good about each other. We should try to speak nicely about each other. If I go to a place, I speak nicely about that person. Somebody invites me to a wedding, I only have nice things to say. I don't have to lie. If I have nothing nice to say, don't say it. Okay, but I'm going to speak nicely. I want the person to feel good. I'm going to tell them how nice the wedding was. And it's not a lie. I'm going to try to find the beauty in what I experience so that I can express that beauty to the person. You see, it starts with the state of mind. So the state of mind is, I want to see beauty in the other person. I go to his wedding, his children just got married, I'm going to see the beauty in that. And then I'm going to speak about it to him, I'm going to make him feel good, and share my love towards him in the words that I used to him.
What if you don't believe it and you're just saying it?
No, don't lie.
No, but what if you're saying it to try and make yourself believe it in a way? Like, the more you do something that you don't necessarily...
I don't think it's good to lie. I think it's good to lie. The only time you're allowed to lie is Kesan Mirakedin Lifnei HaKala, the Gemara says, and that in that case you can say the Kala is beautiful and make her feel good and tell, oh my gosh, she's so beautiful. Anytime, by the way, somebody comes to you before a wedding, always say good to the groom about the bride, always say good to the bride about the groom.
Before you see her.
Yeah, that's a big mistake. No. Oh, well, if you don't know, you don't know. But somebody called me up, some marriage advice. By the way, I want you to know you're marrying a wonderful young lady. And I meant it. I wasn't lying. I really meant it and I felt it. But the point is, in the case of a wedding, you're allowed to tell the Kala how beautiful she is, so the Hatan feels good. Imagine Bar Minan, people start saying bad things about her. You ruin the wedding, you ruin the marriage, you ruin the whole thing, God forbid.
But even after your wedding, if your wife asks if she looks good in this dress, you should still say yes, no?
So that's why the Chachamim talked about the wedding. During the wedding, but it's talking about other people. So other people should praise the Kala, Kesal Merakedin Lifnei Kala. Right? Kala Na'ah, right? How beautiful the Kala is. But I will leave that to your judgment, how to deal with that issue.
If you don't see me tomorrow.
I'll see you tomorrow. Nice. All right, so, right. By the way, the wife also is part of the mitzvah, Ve'ahavta le'acha kamocha, right? Just so you know. Be careful with somebody else's money. The same way you want people to be careful about your money, be careful about their money. If somebody makes a mistake, gives you too much money, return it. And you want people to respect you, respect other people. And then there is a particular sickness. This sickness is ubiquitous in Western society. It's ubiquitous in America. It's ubiquitous in the social media era. Hamitkabed biklon havero. A person derives benefit, honor by bringing ignominy upon somebody else. And if that's what you do, Eno chalek l'olam haba. Bar Minan the person who does that can lose their olam haba. I have a video. I saw somebody, he was driving like a nutcase. I'm going to post that video online, not because we want to capture him, not because we want to make the road safer.
He's in Hatzalah, he's allowed to.
Oh. There's a thing, I don't know why, in Hampton Street, people pass the stoplight all the time, right? Have you noticed that? People coming through, what? Like, they literally just go through.
Yeah.
Right? Am I the only one?
I do it all the time. But
I almost got out of the car the other day. I was like ready to like,
They're coming down the wrong way.
right, or they come down the wrong way. I don't understand what's going on. Like, it's like, wow. Man, I was like driving down, it happened all the time. And like,
welcome to Hampton.
like, welcome to Hampton. Yes. Yeah.
Getting stopped and look both ways.
I have so there's people who on their YouTube channel, they try to catch others in like compromising positions, like embarrassing positions, right? So somebody slips on a banana peel and oh, it's so funny, and we got him on the video, it's like hysterical. It's good for me, I got a lot of likes. Got likes on my YouTube, likes on my Instagram, what other things? I have Snapchat. Is that a thing, Snapchat? I remember Snapchat because my daughter wanted it and I rejected it. Didn't let her have Snapchat. What else? I'm sure there's other things. I know there's other things. So the thing is, people always like getting these videos and pictures of other people who are embarrassed and like, wow, that.
What if it's to a non-Jew? Is this only for Jews?
It's a sickness. Why do it?
So it's really putting people down for your own favor in a way, or to make yourself feel good?
Exactly. Just don't do it. Why? What do I care? Jew, not Jew. It's a sick. It actually is a sick thing to do. By the way, if you think about it.
It's all for your own ego, regardless. You know?
Right. But you like your ego for somebody else's defamation, right? So, yeah. מתכבד בקלון חברו, אין לו חלק לעם הבא. Okay, so that's מצוות ואהבת לרעך כמוך, and the mitzvah is clear. Now we're going to do the next mitzvah, which is a little sensitive in this community, but we'll do it anyway. Ahavat hager. You have to love the proselyte, the ger. I'm going to explain to you how I do this and what I think about the takana in a moment. But this ger, he decided to enter the nation of Israel. He's under the wings of the divine providence of God. And in this case, there's two mitzvot. One mitzvah, because he's Jewish now. And because he's Jewish, he's part of the mitzvah, ve'ahavta l'reacha kamocha. That's mitzvah number one. But there's a separate mitzvah that the Torah says with respect to the proselyte. Ve'achad mipnei shehu ger. Ve'atorah amra. The Torah said about the ger, ve'ahavtem et hager. You must love the convert. It's a mitzvah aseh de'oraita to love the convert. You are all strangers in the land of Egypt, and because you were strangers in the land of Egypt, you should not discriminate against those people who convert to Judaism. You should accept them fully. And I think to a certain extent, in the state of Israel today, you see Jews from different denominations, and they're fully accepted. I think mostly, I believe I speak correctly when I say they're fully accepted into Jewish society. I think this is the reason. Now, what the community did in making the takana not to marry gerim, I think it was a very intelligent takana. I fully endorse it, unabashedly, because there really is a problem of intermarriage in this country. And the problem of intermarriage is a disease that has afflicted Am Yisrael for decades. And it starts with the conversion, or the semi-conversion, or the pretend conversion, and then the children cannot go in. So I fully endorse, notwithstanding the fact that the Torah says about Timet Hager. So what do? If I see a guy, I love him. I'm not going to marry him. I won't perform the wedding. I'm not going to, I believe in the takana. I'll tell him, and this is what my father used to say all the time. Move to Israel. Go. You became Jewish? Move to Israel. Get married there. You'll be a full Jew over there. Right? They'll fully accept you. Our community, we don't have the strength to accept you, so we won't accept you. But I would never discriminate against a ger. Meaning this, that I won't perform the wedding of a ger and somebody else, at least not in this community, that's for sure. But that is not related or does not put in abeyance the mitzvah to love the get. I still love the get, and I always would love the get, and I would show them extra. If somebody comes to me, somehow I have people reaching out to me from different parts of the world, and I have a WhatsApp group, and people study Torah with me online or in person. But if I see it's a get, I always give them extra deference because of this mitzvah. Meaning sometimes I'm busy, I don't always answer everybody, I can't answer every single question. People shoot me questions from all over the world, I just don't always have the time. But if I see a certain name and oh, this guy's a get, oh, I remember him, yes, I'll try to answer him as soon as I can, just to show him that extra love. So you see how you can balance the two things. No, we won't marry Gerim, yes, we'll still love the Gerim, right?
If a Ger converts in Israel, lives in Israel, and their kids move back
I think
here.
Adam Yosef, there was a situation like that in the community, and he allows it. Meaning, we're not going to take it to an extreme. We're not going to start going, oh, but you're great. Once a person is part of the Jewish community, and we forgot that the parents or the grandparents were Gerim, I think that in our community, my guess is, I didn't speak to other rabbis about this, but my guess is that they would be, they're not going to make it an issue. There was somebody who recently was going to get married, who got married actually, doesn't matter who, and they called me up and they said, listen, the mother, or I don't remember what, Rabbi Yosef actually wrote a Pesach about that specific individual. He was in Israel. Exactly what you said. Everything was good. It was a non-issue. All right. So now we have exactly 3 minutes. I apologize, I had a hard stop tonight. So I'm going to go for the next 3 minutes to the next law as soon as my iPad opens, and there we go. Kol hasoneh. Oh, I'm sorry, I skipped. Sival avat hager, kemo shesival avat asmo. Now, when Hashem says ve'ahavtem et hager, you should love the ger. What else does Hashem say you should love? Hashem says you should love me, right? So Hashem is saying to love the ger. Hashem is saying to love him. So it shows you the tremendous importance of this mitzvah. Hakadosh Baruch Hu asmo ohev gerim. God Himself loves the gerim. Shene'emar ve'ohev ger. There's a beautiful pasuk again in the book of Devarim. The pasuk says, "Oseh mishpat yatom le'almana." When God looks at judgment, He always looks at the weak. He always looks at the orphan, the widow, meaning people who can't defend themselves. Those are the ones that God looks at most, right? Because people who can't defend themselves generally in society takes advantage of those types of people, right? So the pasuk says, "Oseh mishpat yatom le'almana." God brings about the justice for the orphan. God brings about the justice for the widow, the ohev ger. And God loves the gerim because naturally a ger might not be able to defend himself. Nobody knows him. He doesn't have family. Doesn't have relationships. God loves the ger. God takes special care of the ger. If God sees the ger and he needs bread, He's going to give him bread. If God sees the ger and he needs clothing, He's going to give him clothing. I said it's a special relationship because this ger was a goy, and he lived as a goy, and he didn't have the 613 mitzvot. He only had 7 mitzvot, and he chose to burden himself by accepting the Torah, to burden himself by becoming part of this nation that's always persecuted, to burden himself by becoming a Jew and becoming a minority among a new nation. He could have been an Irish, an Italian, and he was fine, and he had old people around him, and suddenly he becomes a minority. It says, "Ve'ohev ger latit lo lechem Yisrael." So you understand the idea of loving the ger. It's such an important mitzvah, one that we should have a sensitivity towards. Are there any questions? We're good? Everybody's good? Okay, so I think we're going to stop here. Wow, amazing. Okay.